What's up, guys? Welcome to Week 11 Best Bets NFL on the Betting Pros YouTube channel. He is Andrew Erickson. I'm Matt Perrault. We are live for the next 45 minutes or so, taking guys up to kickoff for the 1 o'clock games. We are currently watching Dolphins Commanders in Madrid, Spain. The first ever NFL game overseas is 13-13, late fourth quarter with the Commanders on the doorstep, 3rd and goal from the 2-yard line. Andrew, I mistakenly bet the Dolphins today. That was a great read by me. How are you? And we got a 4th and goal coming up here for the Commanders. If the Dolphins defense does something here, so 4th and goal from the 1, would you go or would you kick the field goal here, Andrew Erickson?
Well, I mean, Dan Quinn has been known to want to go for it all the time. He doesn't have a starting quarterback, though, so we'll see. I think they'll probably go for it. And again, like you, I also bet on the Dolphins, so I'm hoping to go for it and don't complete it. So let's go, Fish. Come on.
Yeah, they did this on the last series where they scored a touchdown, and they ended up running it on 3rd and throwing it on 4th, and they got it. So let's see if they ran it on 3rd. Let's see if they throw it on 4th, and they are 10 for 17 on the year going for it on 4th down. So Dan Quinn, like you mentioned, being pretty aggressive as a head coach, but this is one of those moments with 6 to play. I don't know. Now they have to burn a timeout. This is such Commanders football. They can't get the play in quick enough, so they got to burn a timeout now. So even if they score a touchdown, there's 6 to play in the fourth quarter. If the Dolphins tie it, now they're down to 2 timeouts, or if they miss this and the Dolphins go and score, they're going to be down to 2 timeouts. So this is just typical Commanders football where they can't get out of their own way. But we got a lot of good things to get to today. We're going to break down every game, give you picks, props, and thoughts as we head into this. But overall, let me ask you about the international games now that we're going to Spain and we're leaving these countries. How much does location factor into your handicap, if at all?
When it's a neutral field, I kind of look for kind of embracing for some more volatility in terms of, okay, this is usually what we see from these types of teams, but when you're playing in a neutral field, you kind of have to throw some of that stuff out the window and kind of expect, all right, maybe we shouldn't be so confident in X, Y, or Z, and just kind of take a step back, look at the trends for the most part. I've liked the under for the most part in some of the international games, although the over has been hitting at a higher rate than it has in past seasons, I think. Well, that's because of the suppressed numbers, but we have seen higher scoring games. Obviously, this is not one of them where we have 13-13 with 2 bad defenses going head to head. So that's kind of what I consider into. I do look at track record. Dan Quinn's never coached an international game before as a head coach. So I think that was another reason why I did like Miami here. But those are just a couple of my thoughts.
After I talked about the field on the Daily Juice tonight, because this is a very unique field that they're playing on with Real Madrid. This is like $1 billion stadium renovation that they've put into this, including a hydraulic system in which they grow the grass underneath the field and then bring it up. On the most crucial play of the game, Zach Ertz's foot slips, and he is not timed up with Mariota. They miss on the 4th down play due to the slip of Zach Ertz. Turnover on downs, Dolphins football, 6 to play, ball on the 2-yard line with a chance to go drive and win this football game. So I laid the 2.5. Let's see if if Tua can avoid a pick here. Devon Achane's been unstoppable, but they keep on going away from him. I don't know why you don't just give the ball to him every single time and see what he can do with it. But, okay, Mike McDaniel, I don't know what's going on here. But we're in the game. We'll watch it. A chance to go ahead and get a W. Let's start with a really confusing game. Panthers at the Falcons. Bryce Young against Michael Penix. And this number has been bouncing all over the place. It opened at 3 for Atlanta. It was bet up to as high as 4.5. It's now coming back down here as we go to kickoff. 3.5 at most books. Some books are still at 4. I got DraftKings still at 4.5, but I'm not sure that's accurate at the moment. We'll see once it updates here. But what are you seeing out of Atlanta and Carolina here? Because the Panthers at home are one team, but on the road, Andrew, they're a different team on the road.
Yeah, this seems like a good revenge spot for the Falcons where the Panthers beat them 30-0. Would I be surprised if the Falcons beat the Panthers 30-0 today? So if you're making me pick a side, I would take the Falcons here. Again, teams usually split in the division. The Falcons play significantly better at home. They've covered the back-to-back weeks, even though they've lost the last 2 weeks, but they've been away from Atlanta. And Bryce Young, man, the guy's won like 2 games on the road. And one of them was at Lambeau this year. Are they going to really do that again? Have that type of magic on the road? I don't think so. So I know Joe likes the Falcons here laying the points at home. And again, I don't love this matchup because I think it's like a 4 range type of outcome game where I could see kind of anything happening. But if ultimately I'm forced to pick, I will take the Dirty Birds at home.
Yeah, it's weird. Teams that play internationally and then come back from an international trip, it's just a trend. I don't think it means much for today, but 19-11 straight up when they come back and don't have a bye in between the international trip. So if you think they win the game, I don't mind laying the points here. If you can find a 3, I'd prefer laying 3 than 3.5, 4, or 4.5, obviously, on this one. But the Falcons have never had a situation where they have lost 3 games in a row against the spread to the Panthers, and they've lost the last 2 to the Panthers. So this will be history today if the Falcons were to lose against the Panthers. So I think the Falcons are the right side, and a big run by Gordon for the Dolphins gets out from the shadow of the goalposts. So good drive starter here for the Dolphins as they go for, was a 25-yard run on first down, or a 20-yard run on first down for the Dolphins. So good drive starter there for them. Okay, let's get into the Chargers and the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm trying to talk people out of this because I'm seeing more and more people taking Jacksonville. I don't understand how you're taking Jacksonville here. I'm sorry. I didn't bet it. I'm not involved with it. But if I was going to bet it, Andrew, how do you take the Jacksonville Jaguars against the team and the Chargers who have played really well on the Eastern time zone? I mean, the numbers are there. LA's on a bad team to back on the road on the Eastern time zone. Jacksonville's not winning today, are they?
I don't want to pick sides in this game. It's a game between two teams that I think are really inconsistent. The Chargers have a bunch of injuries on their offensive line. Offensive lines, bad ones, don't travel well, right? When they're at home, it's a little bit different. When they're on the road against Jacksonville with some guys that I think can rush the passer, I think this is a bad spot for both offenses, honestly. So I like the under the most in this game. You get to capture the Chargers sleepwalking as a West Coast team flying to the East Coast. If you look at the most of the East Coast games the Chargers have played in the Harbaugh era since last year, most of these games have gone under 3-5 towards the over, averaging under 40 points per game. I don't trust the Jaguars offense against the Chargers defense that's looked a lot better over the last 3 weeks. So at 44.5, which is the best number I'm looking at now, or 43.5, excuse me, the best number on BettingPros that I'm seeing, that's one of my best bets this week, is just bet the under on this game. I want to bet against two offenses that I don't think are going to be at their peak in this particular matchup. No Brian Thomas Jr. again for the Jaguars, and this offensive line for the Chargers. I think it limits the upside if Herbert is going to have to make every single play scrambling out of the pocket. So the under is the play for me here in this game.
Yeah, the Joe Alt numbers are pretty bad, and I mean, obviously consistently losing without him they won last week, but they won consistently without Joe Alt in the game for the Chargers. But a 3rd and 13 holding penalty on Miami, so the Commanders will get the ball back here. They're going to punt with 4:21 to play in this game. Marcus Mariota now having a chance, and they're going to have good field position in this game. So our promising bet now looking not so promising here with the Commanders getting the football. I don't know why. I mean, give the ball to A-Chain as much as possible, and just didn't happen on that drive for whatever reason. And Tua gets away from the pressure, but a holding penalty on the offensive line for the Dolphins. Look, it's Chargers or nothing for me. I think when you look at the numbers on the East Coast, I mean, Harbaugh is really good on the East Coast, but he hasn't been great this year on the East Coast. So if you go, he's 26-8 straight up, 24-9-1 against the number on the Eastern time zone or Central time zone as a head coach, including on the Eastern time, he's 15-5, but they've been not great this season in terms of being on the Eastern time zone. So I to me, it's Jacksonville or nothing in this game, but did he muff the punt? Oh, that's such the Commanders. Did they muff the punt? Dolphins recover.
Dude, just when you need them the most, baby. The Commanders come into play. There we go. That's why you bet against bad teams. Like
I mean, are you kidding me? Holy I mean, I've been talking with a buddy of mine who was a Dolphin fan. I'm like, how do you do this every week? How do you watch this crap? This team sucks. And then you look at the Commanders and you're like, how do you cheer for the Commanders each week? This team's garbage. Like both these teams are just like, it's a comedy show watching these two teams play football, and they're in primetime standalone games. These teams should not be on primetime standalone games, even though it's not primetime. I guess it's morning. All right, Tampa and Buffalo. This number is 5.5. It's up to 6.5 at FanDuel. It's 6. Most other books. Money coming in late here on the Buffalo Bills against Tampa. This is our boy, Andrew. This is points with Baker. Autofire, right?
Awful loss. You got to throw that into it's the holy trifecta of the betting spreads with the market. So yeah, Baker Mayfield for me. This is the spot. I don't really care about the optics of the matchup, right? We all are seeing that there's some weather going to be playing a factor in here. Baker Mayfield played how many seasons in Cleveland? I think that I don't think the weather is going to be the deciding factor in this game. We've seen Buffalo struggle offensively, defensively this year. So I just think with the points, I don't know if the Buccaneers are going to win outright, but I think that they're going to keep this within at least closer to a field goal than a touchdown. So I will take the Buccaneers.
One Snap is in the chat. He's at the game for the Steelers. Thanks, buddy. Thanks, guys. Watching from Game Time. That's pretty cool. Have a blast. Enjoy it at the Steelers game today. Hopefully you guys get a W. I'm not involved in that game at all. So, yes, hopefully you guys, Pittsburgh, go there, get a win. Enjoy yourself. Be careful. Be safe. Don't be stupid. Enjoy yourselves. But look, I think when we're talking about Baker Mayfield and the world is on the Bills, I'm backing Baker. But this is such a key game for the Patriots. And you're a Patriot fan. I'm a Patriot fan. If the Bills lose this game, it would be their third loss at home. 3 losses at home. And the Patriots lead would start to get really big. You'd have a 9-2 Patriots team. They've got 2 winnable games to go before their bye. They would have a 2.5 game lead on the Bills. After the bye, Buffalo goes to New England, and that game really wouldn't have nearly the significance, Andrew, as it will if the Patriots are a game and a half up on Buffalo and they're playing in Foxborough. Can the Bucs win the game outright?
They could definitely win it. Again, that's not what I would bet on necessarily, because I think that the long track record is Buffalo does tend to play pretty good at home. I do think they have a legitimate home field advantage because of the weather, but against Baker Mayfield, you never want to cut this guy out. And especially when he's the underdog, right? Bet against him last week because he was a comfy home favorite, not the spot to bet on Baker Mayfield, but this is the reverse here. I think it ultimately is going to come down to probably one fourth quarter type of play, which quarterback makes that final play, whether it's with their legs or with their arm. But obviously Josh Allen's still a great elite quarterback. So you can't totally count him out, but I give me the Buccaneers with the points.
So here's your wind. 20 mile per hour sustained, probably a little bit under for the game. Gusts could be as high as 35 miles per hour. Remember, we do bet wind, not weather. The wind is there. There could be some rain or snow showers at some point, but it looks like it's going to be a dry game and a little bit breezy. So if you're looking at an underplay, I don't mind it. I actually like the over for Baker Mayfield for passing, even with the wind. It's so low. It's 200 and it's 200 yards. It's like, what are we doing? It's Baker Mayfield. I think Baker's going to be able to move the football here and throw. And if the Bills are winning, then we got a Buffalo. We have a team, obviously, where you have to throw into the wind. You got to throw. But like you mentioned, I like Baker in the wind. I'm okay with it. He's got experience. He knows how to do this. So I'm okay with backing Baker to needing to go ahead and throw the football. So I like Baker to go over his passing yards here today, up against a Bills defense. And I don't trust this Bills defense at all. I think it's going to be their Achilles heel. I know everyone's going to run and say bet the under because of the fact of the wind. I still like the over. I still think we're going to see a lot of points in this game between these two teams, Andrew.
What does Josh Allen do with his leg? Could Josh Allen score 3 rushing touchdowns? That's the thing, right? He may not be able to throw it as much. Again, we're seeing the Buffalo Bills kind of reshuffle their wide receivers. Keon Coleman's not going to play in this game. I believe Elijah Moore's not going to play in this game. So they're going with guys. Josh Palmer, he's coming back from injured reserve. Tyrell Shaver. So they're kind of shaking things up and hoping that things stick. There's no Dalton Kincaid as well for Buffalo. So they're down a couple starters that we've seen the last couple weeks. But when push comes to shove, Josh Allen's just going to call his own number. And that guy played in Wyoming, man. This guy's a wild stallion, baby. Right. So I think that we're not going to be too short of points here between 2 explosive quarterbacks.
We mentioned the Steelers, and our guys are in the chat watching. We thank you for doing that. Bengals on the road at 3-6. Pittsburgh opened up as a dog way back when this number opened. Now we're at 5.5 for Pittsburgh, big favorites. But the news in Cincinnati is interesting that Joe Burrow is eyeballing a return on Thanksgiving against the Ravens. Not to say that impacts the game here today, but do you think Joe Burrow playing again this year is a good idea?
No, I don't. The guy could still come back and throw for 500 yards and 4 touchdowns. And is he going to help the defense? No. Right. Unless him just being there, helps the defense, morale and makes them feel like they can play better. Besides that, he's not going to help them stop the other team from scoring. So yeah, I feel like it's just going to end up still being like a lost season for Burrow. And what have we seen from Burrow? When he doesn't play a lot of time in the preseason, he starts out slow. So
Right.
what is going to happen with everyone else has been playing at a high level offensively, and then you throw Joe Burrow back in the mix? Does he need time to get ramped up? So part of me thinks that he won't come back until he really feels like he is ready to go and step in, and that he wouldn't try to inhibit the offense in any capacity, because obviously Flacco has played very, very well in his replacement. So yeah, I think that this is more hopium than anything with Joe Burrow. Like, it's like a nice story to think about. It's like the holidays, Burrow's coming back. This is great. Who day? But I mean, I just don't think it's going to work out as much as we'd like it would to see him back in under center.
Yeah. Dolphins have the football on the 5-yard line. They have a 1st and goal. They're going to run this down to the 2-minute warning unless Washington takes their final timeout. And looks like Washington's going to take their final timeout. So Commanders taking their final timeout here. So there'll be one more snap. We'll get this thing to the 2-minute warning. So if they don't score a touchdown on this play, you'll have a 3rd down play in which you'll take it. If they don't score a touchdown, you got to wonder, do the Commanders allow the Dolphins to score here? Because it is such a chip shot field goal, but it is the NFL, and you have the kickoff rule. So we'll see where with this new kickoff rule, getting in a field goal range is not that difficult. Although Meke already missed a 51-yard field goal today for the Commanders, so they've got some kicking issues. This is going to be interesting to see how the Dolphins and Mike McDaniel play this, because they could do this really well, and they could get this thing handing the ball back to maybe with less than a minute to go if they play this right. If it's a field goal, if it's a touchdown, then I think it could be even more of a problem for the Commanders. But we'll see if the Dolphins can punch this in for a touchdown, or if the Dolphins can wind up getting a field goal and giving the football back. They're going to run the ball here. Oh my gosh, Tua almost fumbled. Wow. Screwed up the whole play, but A-Chain almost, and he's down to the 1. That's the best case scenario for.
He's got the 1st down.
No, there's no 1st down. You can't get it. But it's now 3rd and goal from the 1-foot-yard line. And you're going to run it down to the 2-minute warning. So you have 2 plays to get a half a foot if you're the Dolphins here. And now you're going to run it, and then you'll probably take it. So
wait, couldn't you just kill the clock in 2 plays and then?
Well, no, because you have to snap it once on 3rd down, right? So then you run the play, and then that's another 40 seconds off. You're going to have to snap it on 4th down. So then you'll kick the field goal or try to go for it. But that would be kind of, I mean, I don't know if Mike McDaniel's got that type of guts to go ahead on 4th down with the game on the line, kick the field goal, you go up, you have a lead. But
I think you
score
probably
on 3rd down.
Score a touchdown.
Yeah. Score the touchdown on 3rd down. Yeah, just get in here, and then you worry about everything else after the fact, and we can sit there with our W and be happy with that on that situation. Okay. Do you like Pittsburgh to win and cover in this game? Because 5.5 seems heavy.
Yeah, it does seem heavy, but the line really hasn't moved, right? It's been like this all week. So to me, it's like, man, I feel like early on, the Bengals, this is a great spot for them. But, this is only the 2nd game that Joe Flacco has started on the road for the Bengals this season. So I think that was kind of interesting. The first game was against Green Bay, and, Green Bay has been like this, really hit or miss type of team overall. So it's kind of hard to take away so much from that. It was also, I think, Flacco's first game with the Bengals. So I think this is like a tougher environment for Flacco. Again, bad offensive lines don't travel. I don't think the Bengals offensive line is good. And I think the Steelers defense last couple of weeks has played significantly there. They've played more like the highest paid defense in the NFL. And although the offense has kind of been struggling, when the defense has played better, dude, every offense plays well against the Bengals defense, right? So although this line does feel rich, I think that ultimately the Steelers end up getting it done here. And I like them playing at home against Flacco, who's still kind of banged up. So I like the Steelers here.
Houston and the Titans. Titans are at home as 5.5-point dogs to a Houston Texans offense that really has not found its footing this season, but defensively, Houston, one of the best defenses in the NFL. The funny stat, the Titans up by 8-1 ATS over their last 9 games. Even with how bad that franchise has been, when they come off of a bye, they tend to play well. I'm not backing the Texans for that very reason. I don't trust it. I don't think the Titans are a good football team, but I don't trust the Texans on the road against anybody. You aren't backing the Texans today, are you?
No, I'm not touching this game. I'm not laying points as a backup quarterback in a division game off a team with a bye week. I was like, right. So it's like, and like when I say that, it's like, okay, then you should just bet on the Titans, right? Because it seems like your confidence not with the Texans, but I don't want to bet on just a team that I think is so bad. with the Tennessee Titans. And I don't know what to, especially with how good the Texans defense is. I don't know how the Titans generate points, so I don't feel comfortable with them even getting 5.5. So this one was a first one I scratched off my my card this week was Texans Titans, backup quarterbacks, elite defense. No thanks.
So third down run, Washington sells out, stuffing the run. 4th and goal from the 1. And we'll see what Mike McDaniel does here, because I would kick this. I would run this down and I would kick this and get the lead but my defense stinks.
See, that's the thing that I kind of agree with you. It's like Mike McDaniel's like, do I really want to put my defense back on the field?
Yep. My defense stinks. So, I mean, they're going back on the field, but going back on the field with a 3-point lead or a 7-point lead. So that's your question. And why? Wait a minute. Why'd they stop the clock? Well, that's weird.
Did they call timeout?
I thought they were out of timeouts. I thought we were out.
No, Miami called a timeout.
No, they did not.
Timeout by Miami at 1:44. That's what I'm looking at.
The Miami Dolphins called a timeout. Why wouldn't they let the clock run all the way down and then call a timeout?
I couldn't tell you.
I mean, if the Miami is it an injury? Is it an injury timeout?
Oh, maybe it's an injury.
It might be an injury timeout. That makes more sense.
Yeah,
but that still is an awful break for the Dolphins if it's an injury timeout. Oh no, you're right. The Miami Dolphins called a timeout. Mike McDaniel doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know what he's doing. It's so obvious when there's certain head coaches that don't know what they're doing. Why would you call a timeout? You let the clock run all the way down. You burn that clock as far as you can burn that clock. You have a 20-second clock. Let it go all the way down to 1:15. Then you call timeout. Then you run the play. That burns another 10 seconds off. Oh, my goodness gracious. Washington has no timeouts. Like, sometimes I don't understand how these coaches are $1 million coaches. Okay, so A-Chain, okay. Oh, A-Chain got hurt. Thank you. Okay. That's what happened.
Now it all makes sense.
They were forced to burn a timeout because A-Chain got hurt. That's right. Okay. You get hurt under 2 minutes and you have a timeout. You have to burn the timeout. Okay. They're going for this, which I can't believe they're going for this. I mean, what else you got to lose? I guess you're from Miami.
3-7. It's like,
and you give the ball back to Mariota on the 1 yard line, I guess. But
we might get more overtime. Second week in a row. International game.
We don't need overtime in international games. We just don't need this stuff. Like you just don't need it. And this play call, they were perfect, by the way. They were 14 of 14 going in, and this play call had no shot. Like not even a shot. Gordon got stuffed 3 yards back. 3 yards back, he got beat. Like, why throw the football? Like, throw the football. We paid real money on this stuff.
He's probably afraid Tua's going to freaking throw a pick.
I mean, you take the points. These coaches are so stupid. They just take the points, dude. Kick the field goal, put it in the hands of your defense, and say, okay, because now your defense is on the field, and you're like, oh, well, they're backed up. Yeah, you're going to go to overtime now. Oh, this is so bad. Betting on bad football teams is so frustrating. It's so frustrating betting on, because McDaniel knows he's fired. He knows he's done. So he's like, what the hell do I care? Let's go ahead and run 4 straight runs, by the way. That was 4 consecutive runs into the front. And they did not score. Like, I don't know. That is kick a field goal. Kick a darn field goal, dude. Like, just go up, have the lead, put your defense out there. I mean, that injury to A-Chain was really unfortunate because that caused a whole problem with them having to use that timeout. But, I mean, you can call timeout and maybe get the football back and maybe try a last-second field goal with 2 timeouts. But the Dolphins, if they get the ball back, it's probably going to be like 15 seconds left. If you're the Commanders, if you do it right with the Commanders, they're throwing the football, and it's wide open over the middle. This is now to the 30-yard line. They're going to lose the game. This is unbelievable. Okay, forget it. I'm almost ready to shut that game off. That game has made me so mad. Oh my gosh, that is a ferociously annoying game to have money on at the moment. Green Bay and New York. I'm on an island here. I'm taking the dog. I've ripped on, and I have ripped on this Giants team all year. Yet the Packers look awful. And I like this defense to keep the game close. You need 7.5. Don't get 7 or 6.5. You got it 7.5. But how do you feel about the Giants catching 7.5 with Jameis Winston at quarterback today?
I think he's the side. If you're going to pick, I like the Giants here as well. The thing that has me not having is one of my strongest bets is because Jameis Winston is also a turnover machine, and turnovers can lead to really lopsided outcomes where it can be a close game in the fourth quarter, and then Jameis Winston throws 3 pick sixes, and then they lose by 20 points. So that's where I get concerned. I actually like the over in this game.
Even with the win? Even with the weather?
It doesn't matter. Jameis Winston, it doesn't matter. Like the way that he influences games, it doesn't matter what the weather. They could play in a hurricane, and I would still take the over in a Jameis Winston-led game because of the way he plays. He's so chaotic. Fumble 6, pick 6. Like, it doesn't matter. He's going to rip it. You think he's going to take a check and be like, oh, yeah, check to a run? Yeah, no, thanks. I'm throwing the ball downfield as far as I can. Like, that's just the way that he plays football. So I like the game going over 42.5 points. The Giants defense is so bad. It is absolutely atrocious. So Josh Jacobs could have a monster game here on the ground. Again, I like the Giants offense overall with Jameis Winston because the Packers defense also, similar to the Browns, not as good of a defense on the road as they are at home. Like, they've been shutting down teams defensively when they play at Lambeau with that home field advantage. But on the road, a lot of teams are putting up a decent amount of points against them. So 42.5 is a really low number for two teams that can generate explosives. So I like the over. And I also like one of my favorite props is Jameis Winston over 34.5 passing attempts. He did this in every single game last year, except for one when he was with the Cleveland Browns. And every team that has faced the Packers, besides the last 2 weeks, has attempted at least 36 pass attempts. So I think it's just going to be a lot of Jameis Winston shucking the ball downfield, throwing it, whether it's incomplete to the other team. Don't know, don't care. I just know he's going to throw it a lot.
And a huge play to Deebo Samuel all the way down to the 40-yard line of the Dolphins. That's Jones. Actually, sorry, that's Deebo. It's Jones to the tight end. With 57 seconds to go, this game is over. So unless Matt Gay misses the field goal, this will be one of the most embarrassing losses of the NFL season for a football team that should be firing their head coach as soon as the year is over. Mike McDaniel should be fired and should be done because clearly these guys don't know what they're doing. It is unreal to watch Dolphin. I don't know how you guys do it. I don't know how Dolphin fans do it. I'm a Patriot fan. I hate your team. And there's a reason why I hate your team, because this is unbelievable to watch. The ineptitude of the Miami Dolphins is unreal. They were perfect going into this game with goal-to-go situations, and they went 0 for 2 with fourth down misses when they could have kicked both field goals and could have won this football game. Just kick field goals, like just basic, boring, dumb football. Like, you don't need to be extravagant. Just be boring, and you win football games when you do the right thing. Continuing with the early slate for us. The Bears and the Vikings. I'm on the Vikings, and so is the world. Everyone is on the Vikings. They're the number one most bet team here. The number is 3 at certain books, but mostly it's 2.5 here. And so I'm nervous. I'm not going to lie. Did it on Tuesday with Pat Fitzmaurice on our Look Ahead show on Tuesday. This number really didn't move all that much. There is bear money in the marketplace, but my gosh, I cannot back Caleb Williams in a game against the NFC North. He's horrible. He's 1-7. In games against his own division. And I know things look different. I know things are better here with Ben Johnson, but I'm taking the Vikings with a short number here, laying 2.5 with the world. Where are you on Bears Vikings?
I'm with you. I'm with the world. I also like the Vikings here. So what could go wrong, right?
Yeah. What could possibly burn us here with this one? I think when it comes to a defense that plays much better at home than they do, what is that? Are we throwing the flag?
Oh, is it there a flag? This is a long field goal.
This is a really long field goal.
And he already missed the field goal, you said, right?
He missed a 51-yarder. This is
54.
Yeah, this is far. This is a far field goal. I thought they were going to throw a flag for sure.
And hey, we've seen a lot of block kick field goals too. So never know.
Yeah. This game goes. I actually kind of don't want this game to go to overtime. This game is so bad.
Just prolong the inevitable.
I'll take the loss of my bet. I'll just move on to the later slate. Like, I'm just not even interested in this game continuing. Like, this is such bad football. It's a 56-yard attempt, and he missed it.
All right, baby.
Well, no. Hold on. There's 10 seconds left.
Oh,
there's 10 seconds left. They got the football. Miami's going to get the football. They need one pass play. They only need one pass play. And yes, I agree with Phil. They should fire McDaniel before the game even ends. Yes, I would agree. They should fire McDaniel 100% before this game's even over. They should fire McDaniel. Yes, it's just see you later. So that's two missed kick for Matt Gay, both to the right. So it had the length, but didn't have the accuracy. So let's see with 10 seconds left, I bet McDaniel takes a knee. Watch McDaniel take a knee. It would be so typical. Be like, we're not even going to try to go ahead and
after being uber aggressive and going for it when you could have kicked the field goal. It's like, no, let's just knee it, go to overtime.
So I would do. All right, so they're on the 45-yard line. So they need what? 20 yards? Do a Hail Mary here? Yeah, doing a Hail Mary here. Wow. Oh, they got him open. He dropped it. Oh my God, Waddle. How much money are you paid? Catch the football, go out of bounds. You'd have a shot at a field goal. Yeah, not taking knee. All right, we're going overtime. Yay. This is phenomenal. Guys, this episode of our podcast is being brought to you by Hard Rock Bet. Big time of the year. Pro football, college football, NBA, college hoops, and more. All happening right now. Hard Rock Bet is there with something to bet on. If you haven't tried your first bet yet at Hard Rock Bet, you can still do so. $5 bet. You get your winnings if it wins, but they'll also give you $150 in bonus bets. If you're looking for something to help you make plays, the Hard Rock Bet Stats Hub has trends, streaks, and stats for you guys to check out to help you make better plays. Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook app is the only legal sportsbook in Florida, but it's also live in Arizona, Ohio, New Jersey, Indiana, Tennessee, Virginia, Illinois, and Colorado. More states coming on soon. Plus, Hard Rock Bet offers new promos every single day. Download the Hard Rock Bet app and make your first deposit today. Overtime we go in the NFL in Madrid. So extra football in back-to-back weeks for the international games. If you are on the under, congratulations. You are good to go. Your ticket will cash on this game. I know a lot of people who are on the over in this game, just given the defenses, but nope. 13-13 as we head to overtime. Afternoon slate, I got to admit, I am probably going to be doing a bunch of stuff around the house during the early slate. Patriots aren't playing, and the games aren't that great until the afternoon. Yeah. Afternoon games are phenomenal. Let's start with the Niners against Arizona on the road. We have a road favorite. It's now over 3. It's 3.5. What do you make of San Francisco's offense? Will it be better today with Brock Purdy coming back?
I think so. Yeah. I like the 49ers here, laying the points, even on the road. Cardinals defense is really banged up, playing in the dome. And I think Brock Purdy wants to remind everyone why he was the guy that the 49ers paid. I think that he's very motivated to, like, I want to throw for 4 touchdowns in this game. I want to make sure that people know that I'm the guy. It's not Mac Jones. I know Mac Jones had some good games with the 49ers, especially statistically speaking. So I think that this is a good spot for San Fran. Usually you get a better number when they're on the road anyway. Usually I think that they kind of get overvalued sometimes at home, but Cardinals defense, again, this game should be kind of back and forth because the 49ers defense can't stop anyone because everybody's hurt. So higher scoring game. I think the 49ers put on a show offensively.
No Marvin Harrison Jr. for this offense. So that's, I was no Kyler Murray, no Marvin Harrison Jr. I think it's going to be a tough day here and look, I think if you're a 49er fan, you want Brock Purdy to play really well today, okay? Because you've invested a ton of money. You can't get Mac Jones at 80% of the performance and 1/10 of the cost. You hope Brock Purdy justifies the monster contract that you gave him today and goes out and shows out and says, okay, this is what we're capable of doing. Here's what our offense looks like when I'm running it versus what Mac Jones, because Mac Jones is obviously, 2 or 3 throws a game. You're like, oh my gosh, did Mac Jones really just do that? So let's see what Brock Purdy does today. I'm with you. I lay the 3.5 points with San Francisco. The afternoon game of the day and arguably the game of the day period, Seattle at LA. Rams opened at 4.5 point favorites. It's been bet down to 3. The number is cemented across the country. It's the right number. Look, I'm not betting it, but if I was going to bet it, I would take the points and that's it. I'd take Seattle plus 3 and be done with it. I get why people would take the Rams. I'm not betting it. I just want to watch this game because these are my top 2 teams. On BVB, I do a top 5, my top 5 teams in the NFL. Seattle 1, Rams 2. Not betting it, but who do you like today?
I mean, your breakdown was perfect. Exactly how I feel. Top 2 teams in the NFL, divisional rivals going head to head. I agree. I think Seattle with the points is definitely the best way to approach it from a betting perspective. And I do think that the Los Angeles Rams don't have home field advantage. So that is kind of what raises my eyebrow just a little bit. Again, if these 2 teams are number 1 and 2 in everyone's power rankings, whatever way you have Rams 1, Seahawks 1, whatever, they're the top 2 teams, but Seattle's been so good on the road. They lost 1 road game with Mike Macdonald as the head coach.
Mike Macdonald is unbelievable on the road. They're better on the road than they are at home.
Yeah, they're built to play on the road. Like they play great defense, and yeah, Seattle's aside for me. Do they win the game? Again, don't both. Again, I hate betting against the Rams, right? Because they've been such a good team this year. They're the number one team in a lot of people's power rankings. But yeah, I think the value is here on Seattle. But this is a game that I definitely just kind of want to sit back and watch, because whoever wins this game, it's like when these teams meet again, I'm going to bet on the other team to win, because it's probably going to end up being split. So I don't know if we're going to have many definitive, clearly the Seahawks are the best team in the NFL when the Rams beat them, a month from now when they have to go up to Seattle. So I think this will probably be the first of 3 matchups between these two teams this year.
Fair. And look, everyone's teasing this, and I can't argue with it. I mean, give Seattle 9 points and just kick back and watch. So I think that's another way you can play it. If you're doing a late game teaser, I think that's the angle. I don't think this is a blowout one way or the other. I love Matthew Stafford. I do think Matthew Stafford, I like under on his passing attempts today, because I think Seattle's going to run the football and try to keep the ball away. I think we're going to limit possessions here in this game and try to just, shrink the game. So I don't think Matthew Stafford's back there throwing the ball 40 times just based upon possession. And I do think that the Rams are going to try to establish the run today and run the football against Seattle. So low scoring. I don't hate a play on the under. I've seen people say take the under. I don't hate that move either on this, just with these two divisional teams and the way these offenses have played. So don't hate that. But Seattle +3, Seattle +9. Denver and Kansas City. The numbers are ridiculous for Patrick Mahomes. He's 18-1 straight up against the Broncos. Like, that is just an insane number. It sticks out to me. I can't get it out of my head. I would only bet the Chiefs today. I like the under. You like the under. We don't like points, but who wins the game?
Chiefs.
Yeah.
Aren't they coming off a bye week?
Yes. Yes.
This isn't rocket science. And we know that the Broncos are so overrated, especially on offense, and they don't have their best defensive player. Patrick Surtain's not playing in this game. Like, that shouldn't be overlooked. What did the Dolphins do now?
No, they did something good. Marcus Mariota on his first pass in overtime gets intercepted.
Let's go!
So, Marcus Mariota we waited to shows up. He double clutched. He threw it late over the middle to Zach Ertz, and it gets picked off by the Dolphins. They have the ball on the 30-yard line, already in field goal range, with a chance to win the game because both teams will have possessed the football. Yes. So let's just run the.
You think he'll kick the field goal now?
And watch them miss the field goal, because that's what this game's going to do. We're going to have a kick that's going to miss it. So I would not rush this. If I'm the Dolphins, I am trying to get as many yards as possible, make it as easy of a chip shot as possible. Let A-Chain go ahead and run this football. Maybe score a touchdown here. Don't play around here. But this game's not over, given the kicking woes that we've seen already in this game so far. But huge turnover in overtime. And yeah, we're just going to run the football with stretch plays and a big run on first down all the way down to the 22-yard line. All
right, we're good.
So now we're in chip shot range from a field goal perspective. So I laid 2.5. Hopefully you guys didn't lay 3. So if this kick comes through, we'll cash our bet, and then you'll push on 3. And Marcus Mariota will have a very long flight back to Madrid with the situation. Yeah, I don't know how, if you're taking Denver, tip of the cap to you, because you got bigger balls than me. There's no way. Bo Nix against this defense. I don't know. Let's say this. How many points does Denver score in your mind today?
I don't think that they're going to score more than 17 points.
I have 10. My head says 10.
Yeah, I think, it's probably more like if they score 2 touchdowns or it's a touchdown and field goal. So 10 or 14 points.
That's I think it's a touchdown and a field goal, and that's it for the Broncos here. I don't think they're scoring anything against this Chiefs defense. I don't like Bo Nix. I don't like this offense. I think people are starting to see the cracks in Denver a little bit and going, oh, wait. So J.K. Dobbins is out for the year. That's one of their best running backs. He's not playing. Bo Nix has been up and down. He's not turning the football over. I'll give you that. But
not yet.
Okay. But the offense isn't doing anything. The offense is not doing anything. It's not scoring any points. So they were lucky to beat the Raiders last Thursday, 10-7 in one of the ugliest football games of the year. And the Raiders beat themselves in that game. The Broncos shouldn't have won that game. The Raiders should have won that game. So to me, yikes.
I mean, you got to bet the under. You got to bet the under. It's 45 points. That is 45. Way too high.
Way too high. Totally agree.
That's easy.
Unders to play in that game. And then the last game on the late slate, Baltimore and Cleveland. I am teasing this down. This is the other side of my teaser. I'm giving the Bucks 12 points, taking them from 6 to 12, and I'm pulling the Ravens down from 7.5 to 1.5. But you like the Ravens even without to cover that 7.5, right?
No, I don't. I like the Browns.
Oh,
I've seen this. I like the Browns plus 7.5 at home. I just love betting on their defense when they play at home. The Ravens have not looked the same offensively since Lamar came back from his injury. He's not running nearly as much. There's weather in this game, so I don't think you're going to see a lot of explosive plays down the field because there's a high winds, because this is what happens every year in Cleveland. Because of the water near side, there's like winds are gusting. The Browns, the one thing they do the best defensively is stop the run, right? So we could see 20 carries for Derrick Henry go for 50 yards, right? If he just doesn't have that one big play, which aside from week 1, Derrick Henry's been kind of like kept in check for most of the season, besides that one blow-up game against the Buffalo Bills back in week 1 in primetime. So I think that this game is kept much, much closer because the Browns defense is just legit, especially when they play at home. So I think it was just plus 7.5 was too much for me. So even if the Ravens win by a touchdown, I still cash. So I like the Browns.
Yeah, this is where in Ohio, for where the Brown Stadium is, the wind swirls and whips off the water. And we're talking 25, 30 mile per hour wind gusts consistently. It's going to be hard in the kicking game today. Both punting and throwing the ball down the field is going to be problematic. I don't like this Browns offense. I think the Ravens win the game. I think you're going to be safe here. I don't see this being a 10-point win. That's why I'm teasing it down, because I think the Ravens win the game. Oh, he's kicking it on first down. Oh, my.
He's a botched snap.
He's kicking the field goal on first down. The kick is up, and he made it. Thank goodness. Dolphins win. Right. Dolphins cover somehow, some way. The roller coaster ride of the Miami Dolphins. My gosh, thank goodness.
What a fun sweat. What do you know?
That was not a fun sweat. That was not a fun sweat. That was an absolute disaster of a football game on both sides. 16-13. Sorry, Spain. We gave you a garbage game. Yikes. It went to overtime. That's like the most exciting garbage game of all time coming up on that. Guys, have you gone and downloaded the BettingPros app yet? You should, because you can track your bets and get line alerts straight to your phone by downloading the BettingPros app. Sportsbook Sync automatically tracks your bets across all major sportsbooks in one spot. You can easily monitor your bet performance by bet type, game picks, props, and parlays. Create custom betting systems to find winning trends and profitable opportunities. And new users can get 6 months of BettingPros Premium for free when you make your first deposit and wager at one of the partner sportsbooks. To learn more about that, log on to bettingpros.com/premium. Sunday night, it all rolls into Lions, Eagles, arguably the game of the day. Monster ratings, monster handle. Who wins? Eagles, Lions.
Eagles.
Woo!
Eagles win.
Cover?
Yeah, Eagles win. Eagles cover. Look, I get that no one likes the way that they do their offense or play defense, and all they do, they just win games, right? Like at the end of the day, like they're still winning despite all this like disarray and AJ Brown like not getting the ball, blah blah blah. Of course, he's gonna get the ball this week after everyone dropped in fantasy because like drop me. Of course, he's gonna go for 100 yards this week because the Lions play a ton of man coverage. That's what AJ Brown's actually good against. So yeah. Bet against Jared Goff outdoors at night. Easy. Yeah.
It's really weird because Goff in primetime at home is an auto bet. Goff in primetime on the road is far more difficult of a bet. So 40 starts in primetime in Jared Goff's career is 22-5 straight up as a favorite, but he's 4-9 as a dog. In night games, indoors, he's 12-3 against the number. Outdoors, he's 14-11 against the number. In outdoor primetime games, Goff is 10-4 as a favorite, but 4-7 straight up as an underdog. So it's just one of those situations for me where I got to watch that game and I got to see how the first quarter goes before I get involved. My initial read would be to take the Lions because I don't like the Eagles as much as other people do, but it's the Eagles at home. It's their Eagles defense at home. It's the Lions outdoors. I got to watch and see how this game is flowing before I get involved. I want more than 2.5 points. Okay. If I'm taking points here, I want 3.5, 4.5, somewhere in that range. If it's 2.5, I think you go ahead and take the Eagles. But if you can get 4.5, even higher on Detroit, I think this game comes down to a field goal one way or the other. Eagles win the game by 3. They cover. Very possible. 4.5, 5. Eagles win. Lions cover. So I have nothing on this game. This is one of the most difficult. Actually, no, this is the most difficult week to bet in the NFL, given the quality of game and given how you can talk yourself into, especially in the late slate. I can talk myself into either side. I will ask you this question before we wrap, though. Cowboys and the Raiders. Can you back the Raiders on Monday night?
I would move the Cowboys up to like -10. Like I think they're gonna friggin' destroy.
I have 100% said you need to alt bet this.
Yes.
Lay 6.5 points with the Cowboys. This has been my point all week. This should be 6. This number should be 6.5. The pros are taking the Raiders, and I'm like, I know I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but what are you doing taking the Raiders? Like, that is nuts to me to take the Raiders, even with the defense being as bad as it is. This is the first game with 2 new players for the Dallas Cowboys. Their defense might be decent.
I think that their defense is going to be significantly better. They added an all-pro nose tackle from the New York Jets, Quinnen Williams. And despite their defense playing so bad all year long, they're still 10th in pressure rate. The Raiders' offensive line is terrible. You know this. They just lost another guy last week. Geno Smith barely finished the game against the Broncos because of their pass rush. So I think it's Dallas by like 1 billion points. I don't care where they're playing. The Raiders can't stop their offense. I think that the defense for Dallas is going to play. Again, this is the first game that Dallas has played since the passing of Marshawn Kneeland. They're going to play extremely inspired football, in my opinion. And I don't think they're going to take the foot off the gas. Yeah. I think they're going to pin their ears, smell blood in the water, and go after Geno Smith. So, again, I feel bad it's going to be the Raiders that are the punching bags in this particular matchup, but that's just how it is, and I'm going to try to benefit it from a wager perspective.
100%.
So, Dallas by 1 billion.
Geno throw a pick. Bet that.
Yes, over.
Geno throw a pick. Just jump in on that. I mean, gosh, I that number being 3.5. I have no clue why that number is so low. But again, alt spread that 6.5. Go ahead, take it. Cowboys win by 7 at least coming up on Monday Night Football. Guys, before we wrap here, one more reminder: you guys can get 6 months of BettingPros Premium for free. Just make a deposit and place your wager at a partner sportsbook. Premium gives you access to Sharp AI, our betting systems, the prop bet cheat sheet, and the same game parlay builder. All tools you need to bet smarter. Claim your upgrade now by going to bettingpros.com/premium. All right, your betting card, Erickson, for today. What is it?
Yeah, more like my betting encyclopedia.
Oh, my God.
As you guys were talking about. All right, so take my underdogs here. Browns at home plus 7.5 against the Ravens. And then Buccaneers, bet on Baker Mayfield as a road underdog off a loss. The trifecta of betting plus 5.5, which you can get probably plus 6. So putting in some of those bets here from the total perspective, Giants, Packers. I love Jameis Winston to just be the tide that lifts all boats in terms of scoring. Chiefs, Broncos under 44.5 or 45. And then Chargers and Jaguars, like the under there, 43.5, with the Chargers playing on the East Coast in the early slate of the window. For my player props, sticking with the Chiefs and Broncos game, Bo Nix under 34.5 pass attempts. No quarterback that has faced the Chiefs this year has actually gone over 34 pass attempts. No quarterback this year. So I don't think in a tighter game where I think it's not going to be a scoring, bonanza, I think Bo Nix stays under this. I just don't think this is the matchup where Sean Payton thinks, all right, let's unleash Bo Nix here against the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't think that's the scenario here, even with J.K. Dobbins out. For the Ravens game, I like Lamar Jackson still to go over 1.5 passing touchdowns. He's hit this in 14 of his last 16 games. This is almost a lock for Lamar Jackson every single week. He didn't hit it last week, but now you're getting value on it. Usually it's really, really juiced up. Not this time. It's usually closer to -110 now, so over 1.5 passing touchdowns. He's did this in his last 3 games against the Cleveland Browns, including this season. So even though the defense I expect to be better for Cleveland, I still think Lamar can get at least 2 passing touchdowns. And that ties in my favorite anytime touchdown bet, a long shot, 22-1. Devontae Walker. Rashad Bateman's out for this game. The coaching staff has said that Devontae Walker is going to have a bigger role. And the last time they played Cleveland, Devontae Walker caught 2 touchdowns against the Cleveland Browns. So 22-1. This is my favorite long shot touchdown bet that you can get in the late window, 425 Ravens and Browns. As for some of the other guns I like, Brian Robinson Jr. over 4.5 carries. He's hit this in 3 of his last 4 games as the 49ers are kind of letting off some of the work for Christian McCaffrey. Brian Robinson's also looked pretty good. So, again, a matchup where I think there's going to be points against the Arizona Cardinals. I think Brian Robinson easily flies over 4.5 carries. Again, he's hit this, I think, in 7 of his 10 games this season and in 3 of his last 4 games played. So Brian Robinson over 4.5 carries. Rashid Shaheed over 31.5 receiving yards. Again, I think that we get some decent amount of points in the Seattle and Rams game. Shaheed actually played the Rams 2 weeks ago with the Saints, and he went for 68 yards on a 36% target share. So I think that he has some intel on how to match up with this Rams defense that he can share with the Seattle Seahawks. And they've already talked about getting him more involved this week compared to last week, where Sam Darnold he only dropped back to throw 13 times last week. So obviously Shaheed was kind of kept in check. I think that he's a big playmaker. He could get this in one play. Shaheed over 31.5 receiving yards against the Rams, who I think that their weakest part of their defense is actually their secondary. So I like Shaheed. And then Jameis Winston talked about it, over 34.5 passing attempts. He's not out here to hand the ball off. I can tell you that much. He's going to be chucking the ball. So whether it's picks, turnovers, touchdowns, don't care. I just know he's going to throw it a lot. So Winston over 34.5 pass attempts.
Bonus points if you know who the quarterback for in the last year for college for Tez Walker, who his quarterback was in college.
Wasn't Drake May, was it?
It was Drake May. 100%.
There we go. UNC, baby.
At North Carolina. Yes, it was. He was the guy that got ruled out for the first 6 games and really killed his Heisman Trophy candidacy because he didn't have his best wide receiver at North Carolina. And then once he showed up, that's where Drake May's numbers all spiked because he got someone to catch the football finally for North Carolina. So, yeah, Tez Walker is a guy I've paid attention to for a while for that very reason, going like, I wonder if one day he winds up being a Patriot. I was like, it wouldn't surprise me if he winds up being a wideout for the Patriots at some point if the Ravens were to ever cut him. For my plays today, we're going with the Giants at plus 7.5. I like the hook there. I think Jameis Winston, you mentioned it, scoring. I think we get offense. I don't like the Packers offense at the moment. Packers defense has not been good on the road. And I think we could get the dead cat bounce out of the Giants here to play hard defensively after firing Brian Dabble. I like the world, like the Vikings, minus 2.5 here against the Bears. I don't want 3. I want 2.5, but I do think the Vikings defense is going to cause problems. 1-7 straight up, the record for Caleb Williams against the NFC North. Under 45, we touched on that a lot. I like low scoring game out in Denver between the Chiefs and the Broncos. My teaser is taking the Bucks to plus 12. What you like the Bucks as well, plus the 5.5 or 6. I like give them 6 more points, go to 12. And then I'm taking the Ravens game down from the Browns at 7.5 down to 1.5 for the Ravens. Basically a money line play on the Ravens to win up against the Cleveland Browns. I like Matthew Stafford under 37.5 passing attempts here against Seattle. I think both teams are going to run the football and really shrink the game here. I think it's going to be a pretty tough game to throw on that Seattle defense. So under pass attempts for Matthew Stafford. DeAndre Swift, I don't think this guy's having a big game today. I think this is going to be a Vikings defense going to key in on him. Under 81.5 rushing and receiving yards. And then Baker Mayfield over 204.5 passing yards. Yes, the wind's at play, but he played in Cleveland. I don't think he's going to have much of a problem with the wind here for the Bucks. I like in Buffalo, Bucks go and move the football and maybe even get a W to help out the Patriots here. Look out for the Buccaneers. It's Baker as a dog off of a loss here today for us. Guys, thank you for being here. We appreciate it. We're here every single week taking you up to kickoff. He's Andrew Erickson. I'm Matt Perrault for Sal in the back. See you next week for another live stream taking you up to kickoff for the NFL.